Title: The Last Lion of Veyrath. Prologue. The kingdom of Veyrath had known peace for 50 years under King Alaric the Just. His banners of gold and crimson flew over every keep, his name etched in the songs of minstrels across the 7 provinces. But peace is a fragile jewel, easily shattered by greed and ambition. In the cold dawn of winter, the jewel broke. Chapter 1. The General of Lions. Kaelin Dragor stood upon the blood-stained sands of Valen's arena, his breath misting in the icy wind. His army, the Lion Guard, had triumphed once more against the raiders of the north. Around him, the roar of men shook the ground as they chanted his name. Kaelin! Kaelin, the Lion of Veyrath. He had fought for 20 years under King Alaric's banner, his sword the instrument of the crown's justice. He dreamed only of peace, a farm by the rivers of Aloria, his wife Lycia in his arms, their son running through green fields. He had bled for that dream, and today, he believed it was finally within reach. For tomorrow, they would march back to the capital, and the war would be over. Chapter 2. Shadows in the Court. But in the marble halls of Veyrath's great citadel, shadows whispered. Prince Mavrin, the king's only son, knelt before his father's throne. His eyes burned with envy as he spoke. Kaelin wins your wars. Kaelin earns your people's love. And what of your son? Am I to sit in his shadow like some forgotten relic? King Alaric's voice, aged yet unbroken, echoed through the chamber. You speak like a child. Kaelin is loyal. Without him, the north would burn our fields. The prince's jaw tightened. His hands curled into fists. Then perhaps it is time the lion learned who rules the jungle. Chapter 3. Betrayal at Dawn. Kaelin returned to the capital under banners of triumph. The streets overflowed with cheering crowds. He knelt before King Alaric, who clasped his shoulder with fatherly warmth. You have given Veyrath peace, Kaelin, the king said. When this day ends, you may return to your family. The fields await you. Kaelin's heart soared, but that night, fate sharpened its blade. As Kaelin slept in his chamber, the assassin came. A dagger flashed in the moonlight, but Kaelin was quicker. Steel clashed in silence, and the killer's blood stained the floor. Kaelin tore the man's mask away. The crest on his wrist was royal. The prince had spoken. Chapter 4. Fire in the Night. Kaelin fled the palace, racing through silent streets toward his home. But he was too late. His farm burned. The smell of ash and charred flesh choked the air. He found Lycia's hand in the ruins, still clutching the pendant he had given her. His son's toy horse lay blackened in the dirt. Kaelin fell to his knees, his scream tearing through the night like a wounded beast. Behind him, soldiers approached the Lion Guard, his own men, now sworn to the prince. The captain's voice was cold. By order of the crown, Kaelin Dragor, you are condemned for treason. Steel flashed. Kaelin fought like a storm, but numbers drowned him. They beat him, bound him, and dragged him in chains. Chapter 5. The Pit of Shadows. Kaelin awoke in darkness, a dungeon reeking of rot and despair. Days bled into nights. They branded him a traitor, paraded him in chains before jeering crowds, then sold him to slavers. He became a beast of the arenas. His name vanished. He was the lion slave now, thrown into blood. Soaked pits where men killed for coin and kings laughed from gilded seats. But Kaelin did not die. He fought. He endured. With every kill, he whispered his vow. For Lycia. For my son. For vengeance. Chapter 6. Rise of the Gladiator. Years passed. Kaelin's name rose again, not in courts, but in the roar of crowds. His sword carved legends in sand and blood. No chain could hold him. No man could break him. One day, a hooded figure came to his cell. A voice he knew well spoke. "Still breathing, old friend?" Kalen lifted his head. It was Valen, his former second in command, now captain of the city watch. Valen whispered of rebellion, of whispers in the east, of men who still believed in the Lion of Veyrath. "The people are starving, Kalen," Valen said. "The prince bleeds the kingdom dry. He fears you still. Join us one last war." Kalen gripped Valen's arm, his eyes burning like molten steel. "I will join you, but not for your war, for mine." Chapter 7. The March of the Broken. Under the cloak of night, Kalen escaped the pits. From the ashes of despair, he forged an army of the broken gladiators, slaves, outlaws, men who had nothing left but rage. They became the Ash Lions. For months, they struck like ghosts, burning supply lines, shattering garrisons, spreading the whisper of Kalen's name. The people rose. The kingdom trembled. And in the marble halls, Prince Mavrin choked on fear. Chapter 8. The Last Stand. The fields of Veyrath burned as Kalen's army clashed with the royal legions. Steel screamed against steel. Blood turned the grass crimson. Kalen rode at the front, his blackened armor marked by the roaring lion sigil. Through the chaos, he saw him the prince, cloaked in gold, surrounded by his guard. Kalen cut through them like a tempest. At last, they stood face to face. Mavrin sneered. "You think yourself a king, Kalen?" Kalen's voice was a growl. "No, I am a husband, a father, and you murdered them." Their blades met in a storm of fury. Sparks flew. Mavrin fought with desperation, but Kalen was vengeance incarnate. With a roar that shook the heavens, he drove his sword through the prince's heart. Mavrin fell. Silence rippled across the battlefield. Kalen stood over him, the wind tearing through his blood-stained cloak. Epilogue. The lion sleeps. The war ended that day. The people hailed Kalen as savior. They begged him to take the throne. He refused. "I fought for love," he said, "not for crowns." Kalen vanished into the mountains, his name fading into legend. Some say he found peace among the silent peaks. Others say he walks the earth still, a lion without a cage, waiting for the day Veyrath needs him again. But in the songs of the bards, one truth endures. A man can be caged, a lion never.